Alright, what I have here is the other style of Campfone. The other style from the one I have in my other video on the Campfone. This is the one with the front speed control. There would be a knob here, I took it out. This is kind of a warning on these things. A friend of mine picked this up in South Florida at I don't know if it was a junk shop or a flea market or whatever it was. I've heard of the problem this machine has. I've never actually experienced it before, not in phonographs anyway. What we have is an insect infestation. Woodworm and termites. Now woodworm's easy to pick out. Those little holes you see there? Those are the worms boring into the wood. I believe that is still an active infestation. And the termites ate into the soft undersupport. Now these things are veneered. Like most veneered machines, it's a nice mahogany veneer or whatever it is on top of a softer wood. Probably some kind of something in the pine family, whatever it is. Something that's light and cheap, but good enough, sturdy enough for a box. What happened was that the insects bored in there and ate their way through it. Now here you see it. Look at that. All spongy. And underneath, the wood is gone. And that's not the worst of it. Turn it on its side here and we can see what happened on the bottom. You see the wood is gone. It's just eaten right straight back. It's completely eaten away. Now this machine is terminal. Once I strip off the remaining metal parts that I will use to fix two other Campfones I have, this is going to be put far away from anything I care about. Because you don't want these infestations spreading to your good stuff. And they can. They'll leach your house. Termites leach your house. Now, the termites appear to be gone. But the woodworm, I'm pretty sure, is still in there. But it has good parts. We have a handle on this one that's usable. We have the clasp, all the hardware. There's the motor. It's a good motor. It does spin. I suspect this might be Swiss. I'm not 100% sure. We'll be looking into that. But the motor does work. I know the spring is good. If you notice all that crap on there, that is literally crap, as in termite crap. You see that in your house, sprinkled around somewhere, you've got a problem. It's called Terminex. We have a smashed but usable, restorable, I think, reproducer here. Now, the diaphragm is destroyed, but I might be able to source a regular mica diaphragm for that, which should work just fine. We'll see. It looks like a familiar size. And I have the tone arm support. I have the tone arm itself. A few little dings, but it's still there. Nothing's broken there, and we have all the hardware and stuff in there. The lid stay is still good. And if I can pry off or scrape off the Campfone plate on there, and I think I might be able to, that's salvageable too for something. You see all the clips. You can see what happened here. Whoopsie, it fell down. That's all gone under there. There's nothing left. They ate their way into the machine. Had a real party in there. Everything fell off, falling apart. A shame, really, because if they hadn't done that, if the bugs hadn't eaten it, this would have been a nice machine to restore. But, because I can tell just by what's left of the veneer that it was nice. But that's going to be going to a nice, safe, out-of-the-way place where it can't infect anything else. It's not going to stay in here. Not taking any chances on that. And here we go as the motorboard. A closer look at that while I have it out. You can see it's a nice filthy mess in there. But we have good governor, everything's good. Actually, I think this is the same motor as the last one, but it's just a different speed control, that's all. Which is good, because that means the parts will work for other ones that I have. And I won't even trust this motorboard, that's going out too. Can't trust it. Just one woodworm in there, and you've got it everywhere. Put that aside. Like I said, that's usable. I'll get my money's worth out of it in parts. It's just a shame that it can't be restored. Okay, and here is the other machine that I got this week that has no woodworm or bug infestations. This is an HMV 101 with the, I don't know what they consider. Obviously, this is a fake cover. This is not real skin. It's Rexine in a pattern with coloring. The seller thought this was green. It looks more blue to me. Blue-green maybe, I don't know, but it has the, I don't know, crocodile, alligator, snakeskin, whatever you want it to be, it can be. Looks like kind of like a crocodile skin to me, but who knows. It's missing the front clasp, which on these machines, all of these colored machines and the ones with the texture, with the skins, will have the nickel plated, or this might even be chrome, I don't know yet, hardware on them. You can see it's all, the needle tray is all nickeled. And so was the clasp, which I think I have in my parts, so I'll get one somewhere. I suspect this probably was locked, and somebody wanted to play it, didn't have a key, so they took you can do this, took the screws out and just took the whole clasp off, and you can open it. You can see it still has the original handle on it, a little worse for wear, but it's still there, which is good because they do not reproduce one of these with the pattern on it, as you can see this has. It's an earlier machine that has the nice little bearing in there for your crank, which is always nice to have. Gives a little extra support to the crank when you're cranking it. Now, this is untouched. I haven't done anything to it yet. This was an eBay find from a brand new eBayer. And, you know, you take a chance sometimes when you're dealing with people that don't have any feedback and all that kind of... He had 1 or 2 feedbacks, whatever it was. And he wasn't really that far away. So, you know, it was a nice machine. I watched it cycle through once without selling, and then the price did a nosedive. And I had to jump on it quickly, and I did. Took a chance, and it turns out it was a good chance to take, because these skin covered machines don't come along that often, and when they do, they're rarely this nice. This is a very, very well preserved machine. Look, it's dusty, it's dirty, and that'll clean up though, a few little spots here and there. It does spin. It has a strong spring. It's thumping and bumping, but it does have a strong spring to push through that, so that's good there. You can tell it's the earlier style. It does not have the automatic brake. I took the reproducer off already because it was pot metal and not in the best of shape, but I do have a replacement for that to put on there. There you go, his master's voice. Actually, he had this identified as an HMV 102, and I notified him that it was a 101, but he refused to believe me. And I suspect people who peeked in there looking for a 102 saw something that didn't look like a 102 and didn't bother to research it further to see what it was, but I don't know for sure. But for some reason, no one wanted to buy it from him, and they're probably going to regret that if they see this video. Let's put that down. We can see the rest of it because it's all here. It's in, I mean, look at the condition of the nickel plating on that. That's really, really nice. No sign of mold. No sign that this was used outdoors even. A few little scuffs here and there, which is normal. Look at the bottom. Even has the bumpers are still on it. The bottom is in beautiful condition. It's not all scraped and gouged as it would be if you set it on rocks, the dirty ground, picnic table, or whatever. Now this was a fairly expensive machine when it was new. This was not the base model. Even though they were all the same machine underneath the coverings and the platings, you paid extra for this textured skin. I don't remember how many shillings extra, but you did. And for the nickel plated look and everything like that. This was a premium machine. And 101s, they all really do sound good. They're nice. They're only slightly less so than a 102 in my opinion. The number 4 reproducer, this machine was, as they put it, HMV puts it, the gramophone company, was scientifically designed. You know, so they designed this to use the number 4 reproducer and no other, and it really does sound good. This may be the only machine I could think of that was, except maybe for the Victor Victrola 260. You know, that might have been, even though its horn was much more primitive than this one is. So this might be the only machine that was ever really designed for the 260. I'm sorry, for the Victor number 4 reproducer, or the HMV number 4. Because they just kind of gave these things out with a lot of different machines that were very little changed from their earlier cousins. You know, the Victor, you can get one for a Victor Victrola 80 and stick it on there later in the 20s if you wanted to. And for a few years, some of the portables did come with them before the orthophonic era, but none of those machines, in my opinion, were scientifically designed to actually use the number 4. It was just to make it sound better until you could afford, or until Victor perfected the orthophonics and you went and bought one of those. I mean, they didn't want to give competition to the machines they knew they were going to make, and that was the orthophonics. They just wanted a stopgap. But HMV made this for a long time. What was the dates? 27 to 1931. So that's kind of a long run. And there's still quite a few of them around. You can pick one up. I have 3 of them in here actually right now. Really nice machine. I got lucky on that one. And, you know, took a chance. It wasn't cheap, but it wasn't, you know, horribly expensive. But I took a chance on it, and for once it paid off. You know, generally I don't really care too much to deal with people that don't have a whole lot of feedback, especially when they don't like to take advice, as this gentleman really didn't, because, you know, I told him exactly what machine he had. I was being charitable with him because I didn't plan to buy it at his original price, and he didn't listen to me. Left it alone. Oh, okay, you know, whatever. No skin off my back. I'm not the one selling it. But there you go. A really nice 101 and a really horrible Campfone. That Campfone is rough, and I have a few more that will be coming along, you know, soon enough. Hopefully better condition than the Campfone, because they are coming from Florida. A friend of mine is hunting flea markets down there for me, and I'm going to have to educate him on how to look at wood and tell if it's got wood rot, wood worm, and termites. Yeah, you know, because you bring that home and your house has termites. Your whole collection has termites. You don't want to do that. You got to be very careful when dealing with any kind of wood machines. That's the one plus that you have in the Victor Victrola 255, the heavy boat anchor that it is all steel. So you're not going to get termites from an all steel machine. There's no wood substructure in there. But every other machine has some wood substructure. All of them. So you can always have problems. Even dry rot. Dry rot is not going to destroy anything but the machine itself. Won't spread to your house, but still, you don't want to pay for that either because you really can't fix it. All right, there you go. Figured you want a look at that disaster of a machine. Oh, I wanted to give you a closer look at this. The needle bar, I think it's bent, but I can straighten that. It's not terminal. That can be used. The screw is still on it. It's always nice. That can be straightened up and used. The diaphragm is destroyed. You can see that totaled. But the body of it itself looks pretty good. I'm not entirely sure this is pot metal. I think it is, because I see it bubbling a little bit, but this could also be regular aluminum that's been plated, and the plating is simply corroding off it over the years. I mean, I don't see any cracks, which I would expect to see if this was pot metal, and really no blisters either. Fortunately, I found one in the wild, so to speak, for the other machine, which has a totally smashed reproducer. It showed up on eBay. I haven't even unpacked it yet, but nobody knew what it was, and I recognized it immediately because I just rebuilt one of these. So you can see how they put a rubber gasket in there, which is going to be somewhat difficult for me to source. I'm going to have to make something. Well, it's just not impossible, but I'll get it done. We'll get the other one playing eventually. Not right away. I have this 101 is going to come first, and a few other ones in the lineup. And I still have an almost completed 102 over here that I've been working on for a while. I'm just waiting on the isolator gasket for the reproducer. And once that's done, it's back together, that'll be playing too. Well, there you go.